All right, finally we are back doing NFL predictions on this Christmas Eve. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We took a break at week 11. We went to the Smokies, and we were planning on doing it, but we didn't end up doing predictions for that week because we were so busy. Been busy to get ready for Christmas, and so now we are back at week 16, Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
Feels good to be back.
Yep.
And when we left off after week 11, we went ahead, even though we did not publish the predictions for week 11, we did make those predictions.
Mm-hmm.
And after those 11 weeks, or actually 12 weeks, I think we did 11, and we put these, out into the internet on YouTube, and then we made projections for week 12, but we didn't post those. So, excuse me, head's crooked a little bit, and my head's way too big for this. So we did through week 12. Now we're at week 16. We're at, Brady is in the lead at 113. I got 106, and Ethan's got 101. I don't know how Brady gets so far ahead. But, he already made his predictions for this week. He did it off camera. He didn't want to be on camera this week. He's just busy for the holidays. And he said he wasn't feeling the greatest.
Busy,
yes. Plenty of video games and TV to watch and play. But we're going to make our predictions live here. Week 16, there was a game on Thursday. Jacksonville 6-8 versus the Jets. Now, I know who won. I already made my prediction internally. And I'm going to be fair about this. Brady picked Jacksonville. Jacksonville 6-8. They've been on a roll. They beat the Cowboys. The Jets started out hot. Not as hot. They're 7-7. They were in New York. What do you think?
I was gonna say Jets.
Brady, he was going to say the Jets. I was going to say the Jaguars. Only because they've been playing hot.
Who won?
The Jaguars won. Ooh. Sorry. Now, I made that prediction, I promise you, before I knew the outcome. Now, Saturday's Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, Ethan. And the majority of the games are going to be on Christmas Eve. And a lot of them are playing in very, very windy, cold games. Starting with this one. Saints, 5-9, versus the Browns at 6-8.
Wow, that's a boring game. But I'm going to pick the Browns. I'm actually going to pick the Browns.
I'm going to pick the Browns, too. They looked good last week.
Who did they beat last week? Baltimore?
They beat Baltimore, yeah, on Saturday. They won last week. Watson, their new quarterback, is finally able to play.
Yeah.
He looked good last week. And the Saints are not that good, so I go Cleveland as well. Cincy, they started out. Remember, they lost to the Browns early on. They lost to the Cowboys. They're 10-4 now. Probably going to win that division. Taking on the 7-7 Patriots in New England. Going to be a cold game as well. I don't think it's as windy, though, as like the Cleveland game. I'll go first in this one. Brady picked Cincy, and I'm going to go Cincy as well. What do you think? 10-4 Cincinnati, 7-7 Patriots.
I'm going to say Cincinnati.
He's going to say Cincinnati. Okay, I think that's a good pick. Though anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo, they're 11-3. They've already clinched the playoff spot. I don't believe they've clinched the division completely. They're going to 3-11. Chicago Bears in a very, very windy Chicago. It's the windy city, but it's going to be even windier this weekend and very cold. But Buffalo's used to the cold. Brady picked Buffalo. It's your turn to go first.
How could Buffalo lose this to a 3-11 team?
Yeah, literally.
That would make them look very, very bad.
Buffalo is 11-3. The Bears are 3-11. What do you think?
Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree with that. How do you go against Buffalo? Though Justin Fields has looked good this year, the team's just not good. The Giants, 8-5-1. The NFC least is now becoming the NFC beast. They're all in the playoffs. If it were today, I don't know if the Giants will end up making it. They're going against Minnesota at 11-3. Now, they lost. Did they lose to Detroit? They lost to somebody recently. 8-5-1. Giants at the 11-3. Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go first in this one. Brady took Minnesota. Hey, I'm sticking with it. I'm going Minnesota as well. I think the Giants are going to start losing. They might end up in the playoffs because the NFC is weak, but I don't think they win this one.
I'm going to say Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay. Ethan, the Lions started out 1-6. Since then, they've went 6-1. They're 7-7. They've been looking great. They've been getting some good wins. Now they're playing the 5-9 Panthers. Detroit could be in the playoffs. Detroit might make. I think Detroit will make the playoffs because I think the Commanders are going to go down. I don't know whose turn it is to pick here. I think it's your turn. Detroit, Carolina. Brady's got Detroit.
I agree.
I think we're all going to pick. It seems like as the season goes on that it's kind of more. They're kind of more clear cut picks, so anything can happen. Seattle's 7-7. Kansas City is 11-3. They've already won their division. I don't believe it's going to be windy in Kansas City. Can Seattle? They can still make the playoffs. Can they beat Kansas City at 11-3?
No.
I don't think so. So far, we've all made all the same picks except the first one. And then you've got Houston, who almost beat Kansas City last week, Ethan. It was very close. 12-1 Houston taking on Tennessee, the former Houston Oilers. Tennessee Titans at 7-7, who they've really started to fall off. The only thing is the division is so weak. 7-7 Tennessee, 12-1 Houston. Brady's got Tennessee.
I'm going to say Tennessee.
All right. Should I make it? I'm thinking about making an upset pick, and I will. I think after Houston did so well last week against Kansas City, I'm going to make the biggest upset of the year. Tennessee needs to win this too, but I go Houston here. I can't believe I'm saying that. Atlanta, they're 5-9. Brady picked them to beat his Baltimore Ravens. I don't understand this. Baltimore needs to win this game because they are now behind Cincinnati. Brady goes Atlanta. I go Baltimore. What do you think, Ethan?
I'm going to say
Baltimore. Good pick. Washington, the Commanders, they're 7-6-1. They would, if the playoffs were today, they would be the last spot in the NFC. They got to take on the red-hot San Francisco 49ers, who have not lost since they traded for Christian. And even though their quarterback's out, they've got a guy named Purdy. I don't know, but he's been playing good. San Francisco 10-4. Brady's got them over the 7-6-1 Washington Commanders. What do you think?
I'm going to say San Francisco.
Yeah, and
I didn't realize their record was that good.
Yeah, they've won like five or six in a row, I believe. They are a scary team. They've already won their division as well. We're looking at 3 weeks out. They're in.
Well, their division
is very weak.
Yeah.
Very weak. Well, Seattle's okay, but they're just okay because they're in that division, I think. Philly, 13-1. They have tied a Philadelphia record. No team, I believe, no team has won more than 13 games. They're 13-1. However, I don't think so ever. I think you're right, ever.
But what about all the undefeated?
Well, I'm talking about a Philly team.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Yeah, this ain't the best record ever, but about a Philly team it is. 13-1 Philly, going to Dallas. Dallas and Philly are both already in the playoffs. If Philadelphia wins, they win the division, and I believe get home field advantage. But Jalen Hurts, their quarterback, is out. I think he'll miss. He said he's ready to play. They're not going to play him, though. Because this is not they don't absolutely have to win this. This is a tough one. Brady's already got Dallas. What do you think?
I picked Dallas last time, and they let me down. But I honestly feel like they almost have more chance now.
Well, they don't have Hurts.
Of not letting me down because they have Hurts.
And they're home.
Yeah, and they've also had a great season. And they had already gotten off to a good start the first time they played Philadelphia. This is difficult.
But they lost to Jacksonville last week.
I know they did.
Almost lost to Houston a few weeks ago.
But everybody gets upset.
I know.
Sometimes.
And Jacksonville's not that bad.
And who did Philadelphia lose to? Washington?
I don't remember. It was not that good of a team, I don't believe. I don't think it was Buffalo. I don't remember. What do you think, Ethan? This is the hardest one of the week because it hurts being out.
And it might be one of the best games of the week. Oh gosh, I don't know.
You want to make it easier for you?
Is this on Christmas Day?
This is Christmas Eve.
Oh, Christmas Eve.
4:30, nationwide game. I'm still going to go Philadelphia. Though I hope Dallas wins. I don't know. Philadelphia's got a good team all around. I do not know who their backup is. I'm not sure. I don't know that it'll matter.
This is tough. Come back to me.
Okay, we'll come back to it. Vegas, they're the late night game on Christmas Eve. Las Vegas 6-8. They just won that. We watched the highlights of that where they were doing the lateral play and he threw it like 30 yards and the Raiders ended up winning in a crazy. But
I didn't see it.
Maybe I should Brady. Vegas 6-8 at Pittsburgh 6-8. They're in Pittsburgh. It's Christmas Eve night. Gosh, this is a tough one too. Brady's got Pittsburgh.
I'll say Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think I'll go Pittsburgh too. No. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to go Vegas. The odds are on Vegas. They're not really. Pittsburgh, I'm sure, is good because they're home. Pittsburgh's not that good, but
This is a pretty boring game.
very boring.
Is this Christmas Day?
That's Christmas Eve night.
Oh, Christmas Eve night.
We move on to only 3 games on Christmas Day. The 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock and the late night game for the Eastern Standard Time Zone. Green Bay, 6-8. I'm sure when they made this schedule for Christmas Day, like, hey, these are some good matchups. They're not. Green Bay at Minnesota. Green Bay, 6-8. Miami's 8-6. Miami was rolling, and they're not anymore. But they've had to play Buffalo. They play some, I don't know.
I'm going to say Miami.
I'm going to go Miami as well. They'll be in the playoffs. Brady's got Miami. I don't know if I've been saying all these. Brady's got Miami. And then, look here, Denver. You got Russell Wilson. He's in Denver now. He's taking on the Super Bowl champion Rams. They both absolutely stink. They're 4-10. They're both out of the playoffs. It doesn't matter what happens. They can't win. Both do not have quarterbacks playing their quarterback this week, I don't believe. Brady's got the Rams. They're home. Under the lights of Los Angeles. What do you think?
I'm going to say...
I'm going to go ahead and go Rams. I think it was Mike. Go ahead. Denver without Wilson.
Yeah, Rams.
For
sure.
And then the late night, Sunday night game, Christmas Day night, the 6-8 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I believe are still winning their division at 6-8, taking on Arizona out of the playoffs 4-10 without Kyler Murray, their quarterback. All these teams that play stink, except Miami.
I'm going to say Tampa Bay.
I am too.
Tom Brady has had
It's a rough year.
a rough last year. He should have just left last year. Last year, he had a good season last year, made it to the playoffs.
This is his worst record ever. I don't think he's ever had a season where he lost 8. I don't think so. Then you got the Monday night game, the Los Angeles Chargers at 8-6, taking on the Indianapolis Colts, 4-9-1. They were ahead and had the biggest blowout ever, the biggest comeback of all time last week. We saw the highlights of that with Minnesota. 8-6 Chargers want to get into the playoffs, taking on the 4-9-1 Colts.
I'm going to say the Chargers.
Yeah, I am too, and so does Brady. It's crazy. It's crazy. We will be back next week, Lord willing, with week 17, and then 18, and then we start playoffs. We're here. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Do your Columbo wave. All right.